Today we will learn about solving systems of equations using substitution method. And let's have a quick review on the systems of equations. The first is the slope-intercept form y is equal to mx plus b. In the previous videos, we've learned how to graph equations in the slope-intercept form, and we will use that same concept for this lesson. So m is the slope and b is the y-intercept of this slope-intercept form. Also, the standard form is ax plus by equals c, and here the values for a, b, and c are integers, and also a is a non-negative integer. Let's have example number 1. Find the solution of the system y is equal to negative 3x plus 5 and y is equal to 8x minus 17. So both equations are in the slope-intercept form, so we can easily find the solution using substitution method. And to do this, we know that y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. So what we need to do is, for the second equation, y is equal to 8x minus 17, we will substitute negative 3x plus 5 to the y, so you have negative 3x plus 5 is equal to 8x minus 17. And same thing with solving linear equations. We will isolate all the x on the left and isolate the x on the right side to find the value for x. So this means we need to subtract 8x to both sides. And doing this, we will have a new equation of negative 11x plus 5 is equal to negative 17. And doing the inverse operation, we subtract 5 to both sides. And this is negative 11x is equal to negative 22. So when you divide both sides by negative 11, our x value here is positive 2. Now that we have the x value of 2, we can substitute x is 2 to either 1 or second equation. So in this case, I will just substitute 2 to the first equation, y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. So replacing, here I will be replacing the x value that is 2. So this becomes now y is equal to negative 3, my x value is 2, and then we have plus 5. So y is equal to negative 6 plus 5, and the y value is negative 1. So this means that the two equations will intersect at positive 2, comma, negative 1. Now let's verify our answer using graphing method using the Desmos app. So we have y is equal to negative 3x plus 5 as our first equation. That's the graph. The second equation is y is equal to 8x minus 17. So if you look at the graph will meet at point 2, comma, negative 1. And that is the same thing as our solution. Example number 2. Find the solution of the system y is equal to x plus 1 and y is equal to 3x minus 5. Just like with question number 1, both equations are in the slope-intercept form. So we can simply substitute x plus 1 into the y in our second equation. So doing this process, we will now have x plus 1 is equal to 3x minus 5. Or you can make it also 3x minus 5 is equal to x plus 1. And it's the same thing. So solving for x, minus 3x to both sides. 1x minus 3x is negative 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 5. Now I will subtract 1 to both sides, and we have negative 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 2. Our x is equal to positive 3. And the same thing, we can substitute x equals 3 either to the first or second equation, and you will get the same answer. So let's try to plug in. The first one is simpler. So we will substitute 3 to the x in the first equation. So y is equal to 3 plus 1. And of course, y is equal to 4. So this means this system of equation will have a solution of 3, 4. Meaning the graph will intersect at point 3, 4. Again, let's verify the answer using the graphing method. We have y is equal to x plus 1. And our second equation is y is equal to 3x minus 5. So if we look at the graph, yes, the graph will meet at 3, 4. For example number 3, we have the equation y is equal to negative 2x minus 15, and the second is negative x plus 3y equals negative 3. So in this problem, 1 is in the slope-intercept form. So the best way to do this, since we know that y is equal to negative 2x minus 15, we will substitute that negative 2x minus 15 into our y variable. So now we will have negative x plus 3. 3y means we need to multiply 3 with the y, which is negative 2x minus 15. And then we have equals negative 3. So simplifying this equation, we have negative x, 3 times negative 2. We need to multiply 3 times negative 2, and then 3 times negative 15. So we will get minus 6x minus 45, and then we have negative 3. So negative x minus 6x is negative 7x minus 45 is equal to negative 3. Now we need to add 45 to both sides, and we will get negative 7x is equal to 42. And finally, we can divide both sides by negative 7, and our x value is negative 6. Since we have the x value, which is negative 6, we can use the simpler equation, y is equal to negative 2x minus 15. And here, we will substitute our x value, negative 6, to calculate for the y value. So we have y is equal to negative 2 times negative 6 minus 15. And negative 2 times negative 6 is 12 minus 15. So the y value is negative 3. This means that the two linear equation will meet at point negative 6, negative 3. Now let's see how this system looks on the graph. We have y is equal to negative 2x minus 15, and our second equation is negative x plus 3y is equal to negative 3. So looking at the graph of this equation, they will meet at negative 6, negative 3, which is the same thing as our solution. Question 4. Find the solution of 6x plus 8y equals negative 22, and y is equal to negative 4x minus 6. So now, what we need to do here is, using negative 4x minus 6, we will substitute that negative 4x minus 6 into the y variable on our first equation. Again, we will substitute negative 4x minus 6 into the y of our first equation. So, solving for the solution of this system, we now have 6x plus 8y, and instead of y, I will substitute negative 4x minus 6 is equal to negative 22. Same thing, we need to do distributive property. So we have 6x minus 32x. If we multiply 8 times negative 4, that's negative 32x. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. And then we have negative 22. When simplifying equations like this, always simplify either the left or right to make it easier in simplifying and solving for the value of x. 6x minus 32x, if we simplify 6x minus 32x, that is negative 26x. So minus 48 is equal to negative 22. Now we need to add 48 to both sides. And this gives us negative 26x is equal to positive 26. Now we divide both sides by negative 26. And our x value is negative 1. Now that our x is negative 1, which equation is better to use when solving for the y? The second equation is better to use when solving for the y value. So we have y is equal to negative 4x minus 6, and we will substitute negative 1 to the x value. So y is equal to negative 4 times negative 1 minus 6. Y is equal to negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. We subtract 6, so now our y value is negative 2. This means that the system will intersect at point negative 1, negative 2. Now let's see the graph of problem number 4. We have 6x plus 8y equals negative 22. And that's the graph of our first equation. The second equation is y is equal to negative 4x minus 6. And again, this graph will meet at negative 1, negative 2, which is the solution of our system of equation. And now let's have example number 5. X minus 4y equals negative 21, and negative 6x plus 6y is equal to 18. So in this system of equation, we need to look at the variable with the least coefficient. And that is our equation number 1 because the x only has a coefficient of 1, which means this equation is easier to solve for x equals in terms of y. So all I need to do is transfer that negative 4y to the right. And when we do that, that becomes x is equal to 4y and minus 21. Now, using the second equation, instead of x, we will replace that with 4y minus 21. So now we have negative 6x. Instead of x, we have 4y minus 21. Plus 6y is equal to 18. And just like with solving equations, we will need to do distributive property first. So negative 6 times 4y is negative 24y. Negative 6 times negative 21, 126. And then we have plus 6y is equal to 18. Now we can combine like terms negative 24y and 6y. And that is negative 18y. So negative 18y plus 126 is equal to 18. Now we need to subtract 126 to both sides. And we have negative 18y is equal to negative 108. Now we need to divide both sides by negative 18. And negative 108 divided by negative 18 is positive 6. So our y value is 6. And now we can plug in y is 6 either to the first or second. So I will use that equation x is equal to 4y minus 21. Also, you can plug it in either to the x minus 4y equals negative 21 or the second equation, negative 6x plus 6y equals 18. But of course, it's easier to do this. So solving for x, we have 4 multiplied by y, which is 6, minus 21. So x is equal to 24 minus 21, and our x value is 3. So this system of equation will also meet at point 3, 6. Now let's explore the graph of problem number 5. We have x minus 4y is equal to negative 21. That's the graph of our first equation. And the second equation is negative 6x plus 6y is equal to 18. So these two equations will meet at 3, 6. So that's the solution of our system of equations.